rest assured when we're done, it's going to be beautiful. Door there, or make this the door from the garage or something, future garage. And this is 3 steps down, and it was a patio before, and there was a wall here, if you can imagine that. Okay, wall here, and then this came, that's the kitchen right there, it came through here. 2 bathrooms. So this is like the smaller bathroom, bathtub there, vanity, toilet, which we're going to leave it the same configuration. This wall we're moving out about 8 inches though, about to here, so that we can fit a little bit bigger vanity. Right now only a 24-inch will fit. We'd like to fit a about 30-inch would be better. And there's no reason we can't move this. So this wall, I don't know how to show all of this and it makes sense, but probably already making it a little too disorienting. I'm sorry. But this wall here, it just goes up to right there. And there's a gap above it. So it's like a sort of a divider wall, but with the gap on the top. I don't know if that was done for airflow or something, for central heating, because there was a furnace in here. There are floor ducts, but the return was through here. So the return is up there. So that's my guess, is they left this open for return air in the furnace and then supply through the floor vents. This from here over, deleting, disappear, gone. So it'll just be open to the master bedroom, side bedroom, whatever, other bedroom. And this used to be a exterior wall with a window in it, and this part down here was a sunroom. First it was a patio, then it was a sunroom, then it was closed in as a bedroom, so it never had proper foundation done. So you might not be able to see from this far, but there's a big crack going through the brick at the bottom there, and then it's pulling away from the house there. You can see daylight coming through. And then starting right here, it starts sinking down that way. So we'll do new footings out there, new roof over it, raise it up higher so that we can put the floor the same height as the rest of the house. And then it just becomes a lot less patchworky, I guess. But then the master bedroom here, it's still gonna have a sunk floor, but I am gonna frame it up so it's the height of this step. So it'll just be 1 step down instead of down there on the ground. One of the reasons I want to raise all of this up is in January, earlier this year, we had really bad flooding in the whole county here in San Diego, and water came on this property and was getting, some of it was getting in the crawl space, and then there was water that was flooding in this dropped area too, which is also a couple steps down, and you have to ramp up to the outside. So we're about 4 inches lower than grade out there, and then the sidewalks outside are sloping kind of towards the house. So the whole water management situation here is kind of a disaster right now. It's like built to be flooded. Not necessarily that it was built to be flooded, but it's been a long time, you know. This is that room that's lower, and right now this exterior wall is maybe 6 feet tall, not very tall. And it's just because it was a sort of an add-on closed-in area that continued the roof line down, and so that's where the roof line ended. But instead of that, I would do a new stem wall that's up about 14-15 inches, whatever I need to make it match that floor in there in the kitchen area, and then set a new wall on top of that that goes 8 feet, and then do a gable roof just like on the back side, and intersect it with the ridge. Or even if it's taller than the ridge, that's fine too, but just to raise this up out of the mud and the water. And because right now it's all, you can see the concrete's all kind of sloping towards the house. I just want to raise the whole thing up put it on a crawl space, do concrete stem wall the whole way around, waterproof it, and then do new sidewalks that are sloped away, and water management. So probably sidewalks to a French drain that comes around and continues along Aaron's drainage wall here, and then dumps. There's a water ditch that runs along behind the backyard. So if we could divert water away from the house and into that drainage ditch, then we'll be essentially flood proof, unless it gets like insanely floody. But we're a lot higher than a lot of the ground past that other building that's like a gas station building, but a lot of the ground that way slopes down into a bigger drainage area. But we're at the base of this hill. So this hill continues going up, and there's hundreds of houses up this hill that keeps going and going and going. So all that water kind of comes this way with the road. As long as we can keep it away from the house and around it, then we're going to be good. So I'm finding a little bit of rot damage from leaky pipes, or probably leaky pipes or leaky tile or something. So this is where the old bathtub was. So I'm just cutting this whole section of subfloor out. Gonna do new here. This joist had been cut out completely to put in this bathtub drain, because the bathtub drain landed center of this, which is not correct, especially since this has a splicer right there. Definitely it's best to box this in, so add a joist going this way to catch this, because right now this is just hanging. It's free floating with no support, just hanging in air. So have to box this in, tie it to this rafter or joist, tie it to that joist, and connect to that one. So I'm going to box this in properly, and I was going to box this side because I didn't see this until I started taking it off. But yeah, this is just kind of interesting. I'll probably just take that out and add joist this way, or one right here to catch this joist, and another one there perhaps. I don't know, it's kind of funky, but we got to support it properly. This bathroom, I'm cutting it all the way back. There's a joist right here, so I split the joist to cut that, and that gives me 4 foot from the wall, and this is 8 foot right here. So I'll just use a full 4x8 sheet of new 3/4 plywood on this whole section, and then I'll be able to expose all of it, run my new drain, because my new drain's going to be like right here or right here for the shower. So I'll box in this joist to have a spot for that drain. And then there was a little bit of rot on the top of this. It was just the top, like 3/8 of an inch though, and then the rest under there is in good condition. So I'll put a preservative on there, scrape off a little bit more of what's bad, put a wood preservative on there. Yeah, and then probably add a reinforcement underneath it here to the sill plate, just like it has that beam there, just to make sure it's stout, because it's holding this exterior wall. But overall, not horrible condition, but sometimes you just gotta tear stuff out, anything that's bad, tear it out till you get to good solid stuff, and then you could build onto that. So what I hate seeing is people come and do flip a house and they just cover up the bad with new stuff and build it out, and then you still have those old issues that are remnant of the past. Some of them fixed, some of them not. So it's best just to cut out everything that's bad and then replace it with good new stuff. Well, we've got the floor opened up. The camera died and I was vacuuming it all out. It was covered with cobwebs all over the place. And then there was a whole bunch of debris down there. It still looks really messy, but I got rid of this. This thing's pretty packed full now. And a lot of little pieces were down there too. This is the old drain from the washing machine's cast iron, and that was cut off. It's dark, but that's the end of it. It's cut off, it's disconnected. Plumbing was all redone about 20 years ago. So My guess is they just didn't have good access to get it cut off further back, so that's what they left in place. And this is the gas line that comes in from the meter. So I'm probably gonna cut this cast iron drain pipe back here somewhere. Get rid of that section for now. But I think I want to redo the gas lines too. Maybe use, what's it called? I think it's CSST. It's a stainless steel coated kind of flex pipe that you could use for gas now. I might switch to that. We'll see. This is just so corroded. I mean, it's functioning fine. There's no leaks or anything. And here's some of our copper water lines, and they're all a 1/2 inch still coming in from there and then feeding the house. I don't get it. And then this is water lines, all 1/2 inch copper, 1/2 inch copper, 1/2 inch copper, coming up from the floor. And then that's where our main shutoff is, just 3/4. So what it must do is you have a water coming in, or I don't know, maybe it's coming in from here to the regulator and then this way. Probably has an arrow for which direction the flow is. Yeah, the flow is going down here. So the water comes up here from the meter, which is up by the street. This water comes up, pressure regulator, and then goes down here. So my guess is it goes from copper and tees off to 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. And that is the laundry room. And then over here, our water lines going into the house. They were coming out right next to this gas line, so oh yeah, I think this is part of a copper line right there. So I'm gonna have to dig away here and over there to see where that, well, mostly over there, because I think what I'll end up doing is just getting rid of all the copper because it's all spliced together on the outside here. It's just kind of funky. And then maybe switch to, yeah, then this goes to some water spigots behind me. One right there. So what I might do is just have this come up here. I also just don't even like the meter right here on this side. I'd rather have it down out of sight. So I might cut it further back, turn it off at the meter, and cut it down here, put a valve, and then switch to 3/4 PEX right there. Run my 3/4 PEX in here to the crawl space, and then tee that off to the bathrooms and kitchen and to the laundry room. Probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Just wasn't hoping that this would be the case, but I think it's the best way, best path forward to make sure that this is a good long-term fix to this house. Thankfully all the drainage pipes are still, they're great. I'm happy with those. Just have to reconnect some stuff and then move the toilet and add the shower drain, but I'm good with all the drain plumbing. It's all 1/2 inch copper for the whole thing, servicing both 2 bathrooms and a kitchen from one 1/2 inch line. And it's just not going to be enough water flow for the higher end type of fixtures that I'm putting in, especially in the master shower. I have 2 shower heads going in there with a 3/4 inch supply that the valve needs, so I have to have 3/4 inch water plumbed to the bathrooms. Otherwise it's going to be just kind of a lousy experience for the shower. I have this really nice style shower with these cool features, the nice rainfall head and everything, really nice looking, expensive too, and then to have like lame water pressure where you could only use like one shower head and it's mediocre at best, that would be a serious bummer. So it's worth doing the plumbing swap, and to know that I have enough water volume to service the house and it all be new and up to par. So that's probably what we're gonna do. Check this out. This looks like it's, you know, solid wood, and then it's just hollow and termites. Yeah, that should hold another 50 years. Surprisingly, the ones on this side are pretty solid. I'm okay with them. I'll spray them with a preservative treatment. They're gonna be fine. And then these around the window are all pressure treated. They're fine. It was just these. This one on the bottom, this one, so basically this one on the bottom to here were all bad. So my guess is there was a leak in the waterproofing behind the tile in the bathtub or something that caused this area to get real wet. Or maybe a leak under the window. I don't think so. There's not really evidence of that on the backside of the plaster, stucco, I mean. I think it was something in the shower leaking into this area right here. Well, probably like right here. And then this one's fine too. Solid enough, just has some to do. So we'll leave that one also, but treat it, do a treatment on it. And we'll place the sill plate from there over to there. New studs right there, and then I think we're okay with that. And then I'll see how we could refasten the stucco to the new ones, but I think we're okay to not have to re-side this whole edge of the house. Let's see. That's the way. Okay, so for reframing this opening, I need to take out these, which aren't doing a lot, but they are doing something. And they're what's holding up this header and top plate and this ridge beam. So in order to take those out, I'm going to take our temporary support 2x4, which was here while we were doing this wall. Now since this wall is done and supporting that beam, I could take this and I'm going to move it over here underneath that, and then I'll rip those out, put new ones in. It'll be so perfect and flawless and easy. It'll go great. Oh wow. Amazing. It's just gone. Well, it turns out we're not going to get to the plumbing. Cut off some more of this floor to move the toilet flange over. Found that the new location for the toilet's right over this joist. So I knew I needed to cut this and box it in. So I was going to double this one up, but when I tore off the floor, this is rotted like more than halfway down. And it's really bad underneath there. So I have to cut this one out from this beam to that beam, which is only about 6 feet, but we're focused on that. We need to get the structure dialed in before we do any of the plumbing. Got this wall framed in, so I'm happy with that. I think I'm going to add a flat 2x4 for it out, because this mortar is so thick and wavy that the shelf doesn't sit in here very well. And I don't want to add screws from the outside because I'm going to refasten the stucco to these studs. I don't want to miss and drill it through the back of the tile shelf, because that'd cause the same problem all over again in a few years if it was leaking back in that wall. So this is going to be thickened 1.5 inches, and so the whole tub's going to shift 1.5 inches. This, you know, it's all, it shifts everything. It changes the dimension of the room, but this I gotta remove, replace, double it up, and then box this in. So that's what I'm going to be focused on now instead of doing any of the plumbing. So we got this double joist in. I just cut out the wall because it was so jacked up anyways. Fit this double joist in there, and this one on the outside laps over the old one, so they have a 3-inch splice there right on top of a beam. So that's gonna be solid. But then I had a premonition. There's this 2x4 piece on here. Pulled it off, and yay, more. So I mean, at some point you have to stop tearing stuff off and just finish it, right? But when you see that, you can't leave it. Not in good conscience. Well, I can't, maybe you can, I don't know. But I'm taking this piece out. Same as I did this one, where I cut that right over the beam. I'm gonna cut that one right over the beam and do it. It looks like it'll be hard because it's right under the exterior wall, but there's actually another one right on the outside of it. So that one on the outside is actually what's bearing the weight onto the, I guess they both are. But this one won't be too bad to take out. Well, I say that now, let's wait until I do it. But anyways, we're gonna swap that one out too and rebuild this wall, and we're just adding more to the workload. But rest assured, when we're done, it's going to be beautiful. Thankfully, this outer rim joist on the wall is in good shape. It's solid. So got this one pulled off. Definitely has some termite damage. It's actually not as bad or as pervasive as I thought from the outside look of it, but still needed to come out. And then there's a little bit you can see on the end of this joist, but the rest of the joist is solid, so I'm good with leaving this and spraying it with a treatment preservative to keep any more termites away, and replacing from here over to there with a new joist. And then we can box this in, and then we can box this in. You set out to do one thing and find out you have to do 4 more things first. Okay, these floors are boxed in now the way they should have been in the first place. It looks like a jigsaw puzzle, but we have the bathtub drain. There's a joist here, so we had to cut these off, box it in. That was already cut before, but not boxed in. Here, we're moving the toilet from there to here, and there's a joist right there. You can see it. So we had to cut that off for the toilet and box it in. This joist that was there was all rotted out, so we doubled that one up because there's two, it's supporting 2 joists next to it. And then this one is where we're putting the showers in. So I had to cut this joist out, this joist here, and box it in there and there. So now it's all supported. I mean, we're right here next to a beam. It's only like 16 inches away, but I might add a concrete block down there and a brace underneath that. I don't think I need to, actually. But yeah, that's where we're at. Maybe what I can do is double this one up, add a second joist there. It's really not gonna matter though. All right, it's almost 7 o'clock p.m. I'm getting done for the day. Able to get the plumbing put in place where it needs to be, at least for the toilet. I know it's kind of dark down here, but this is all glued up where it needs to be, and then that stack's coming up through the floor. This was the existing vent for the bathtub, so that was left in place, and I put the 3/4 inch plywood, glued it down on the joist, new bottom plate, and then new studs where the studs were cut out really bad and choppy. Oh, this is not great. It looks terrible. It's like a 1/2 inch narrower at the bottom than the top. Well, I'll fix that later. But so this was all cut out, gone. It's all glued up the way it needs to be. Then I have a 3 by 1.5 inch sanitary tee coming off for the vanity drain, and that's going to continue up to about here. And this I'm going to do a 45 off to connect, which is the way it was before. The 2x6s that were here were just hacked out so bad. So instead I'm going to line it up and then drill holes, and it'll be much neater in the way it should be. So there we are. Whole new bottom plate. That took a long time, and I'm sorry I didn't record any of that, but didn't think about it. Whole new bottom plate. All of our framing is boxed in, so now all of our walls are pretty much the way they need to be. This is furred out. Happy with that. This one will have to reframe a little bit to put the niche in here for that shower and the master. I'm not thrilled with this kind of stuff, but probably just sister one on there, sister 2x4 on there. It's really weird working with 2x4 exterior walls. I'm just not used to that on a house. I mean, sheds and stuff, sure, but on a house it doesn't leave you much room for error. All your plumbing has to fit, and then insulation, and then yeah, it's just tight. So we're pretty much good. Today is my last day here for the next month. I'll be here tomorrow, but just cleaning up tools, so I hate to leave it tore up like this. I was hoping to get the floors covered, but to do that I want to do all the PEX first, all the plumbing supply. Otherwise it's going to be real tedious doing it if we cover up the floors now. So other than not having the PEX done, I could cover this now and then just cut a hole right there for the bathtub drain, but I'm not going to, because it's going to be a lot easier to run the plumbing next time we're here in a month, if this is open. Not to mention I want to put a vapor barrier down in the crawl space. That way I can insulate the floors without a lot of condensation coming up from the ground and wetting that insulation. So thanks for watching. We're done here for now, and we'll be back in again in a few weeks to carry on, tear out that room, do more stuff, get it done, make it nice.